Indiana is one of the top soybean producing states in the country, and it remains important that farmers continue to maintain and find new ways to market their crops overseas. Indiana Soybean Alliance invests checkoff dollars through the US Soybean Export Council to elevate a preference for US soy products in existing markets and spark demand in the worldwide market.
I think one of the reasons that Indiana Soybean Alliance partners with the US Soybean Export Council is to not only be able to service 80 countries around the world, but also just thinking about using US soybeans for human consumption, human health, livestock, and aquaculture. There's just so many opportunities for us to be able to use US and Indiana soybeans throughout the world.
They've got people on the ground in these countries. They're natives. They know the dynamics of the market. They know the ins and outs. They know the problems that are going on and how our programs can be more effective. All help facilitate trade.
I think having boots on the ground is essential when it comes to having those relationships.
Right at 3 out of every 6 rows of soybeans is exported. You know, I think you just have to come to realization that we are in a global market. Without that, where would we be? We would have prices where we couldn't afford to produce. We forget the U.S. is only 3% of the population, and yet that's our total focus. And that's what we know, but my gosh, we're just a minuscule part of the world. And so there's tremendous growth opportunities for our agricultural products.
We just want to sit here and be stagnant. We are not going to continue to be the industry leaders that we are today. Always need to be forward thinkers. We need to be able to find ways to engage in new marketplaces and finding new ways of moving the pile. Whether it's exports or whether it's creating new uses here in the United States that will end up being exports as a final product somewhere. Indiana is actually the current leader in producing high oleic soybeans in the United States. So it allows us to be able to kind of be the forefront leader.
In addition to the heart-healthy, high oleic soybean oil, Indiana soybeans are used for high-protein animal feed, and U.S. soy is the premier ingredient choice for aqua feed.
The Asian countries are way advanced in aquaculture than the U.S. The U.S. has had the luxury of red meat for consumers, and these other countries have relied on aquaculture for their protein diets. So the U.S. has helped them set up in-pond raceway type systems, and that would be how to intensify their production. When they do that, they've got to be fed protein. And so that's where soybean meal pellets come into play there to help feed that fish population. The U.S. agriculture has grown to such volume that global trade is a necessity, and the checkoff comes into play to help facilitate this, help to promote our product in the markets, and in the end, you know what I mean, we've measured where it returns about $18 for every $1 invested in checkoff.
The checkoff is important because we are always trying to find new uses for the soybean. Different ways that it can be used internationally and domestically. If there isn't the checkoff, there is nobody out there looking for a future use of soybeans.